Hi and welcome to my second video. I first of all wanted to take the opportunity to thank everybody that has liked, commented and watched the first video. It really meant a lot to me. I kind of purposely, I put one Facebook status out on there. I haven't really tweeted about it or mentioned it in any other way, shape or form. Simply as kind of a get out of jail free card, if that makes any sense. So basically, if nobody watched it, I was like, obviously nobody wanted to know. But then people did. So maybe I am going to do a bit more promotion into this. This is kind of a project to help me regain my confidence after everything that's happened, but also it's to help others and to inform people of the journey that I've been on and the journey I'm about to undergo. So I touched on various elements of my physical injury, which led me to wanting my leg amputated, but I've not really touched on what happened before that, because my feet just didn't decide to fall apart and then I went, okay, well, time to snippety snip. No, it's been going on for decades. Not in the mobility sense, although it comes into it to a certain degree, but certainly in my weight. Now, you're going to see a picture in a moment. It's the picture that made me realise I had to change. I was at one of my best friends' weddings, Amy and Marcus. And I went with my wife, Nicola. We went up to Leeds and had it was an amazing day. And then I got a picture back. It's a picture of me and Nicola standing with Amy and Marcus. Everyone looking amazing, even me. But it blew me away. It's one of those pivotal moments. You know something is wrong, but it's not until you see something from the outside looking in that you suddenly realise that, geez, there's something really wrong there. And it was the size of me compared to Nicola, Amy and Marcus, who are all average size human beings. Now I'm pushing 6 foot. Well, I literally squeak over 6 foot. So I'm a tall guy anyway. And I've always been pretty stocky. But I look like a cannonball with arms and legs. It's the best way of describing it, and I hated it. I was 41 stone almost when that picture was taken. And I'd been floating around the 40 stone mark for quite some years. Now, I could go back into the whole backstory of how it used to be, and I injured myself doing judo, which severed my Achilles tendon. That's all happened. That's the relevant thing is how I dealt with and what food meant to me. Now, I was always a sociable person. I always had no problem talking to people, making friends, so on and so forth. But to me, I always felt like I was just the guy to look. Because I was quick. I'm a funny guy. You have to be to survive at that kind of weight in a social aspect. There has to be something going for you. You're already at a detriment being that size. You're not part of a travelling circus. You're part of a group of people. So if you're funny and fat, it kind of gives you a bit of an out. So I was the funny guy, and I always thought that everyone saw me as enormously fat Jay rather than just Jay. So I had this kind of mask of being funny and being popular, but behind closed doors, I didn't feel popular at all. I thought that everyone was using me as something to laugh at. Even friends that I considered really, really close to me, in my head, there was a disconnect. I ballooned in my late teens up to past 30 stone. And food became the only thing that made sense. The feeling of full. Now, there's different levels of full. There's a kind of, well, I've eaten something and I know it's in there, so therefore I cannot be hungry. All the way up to post-Christmas dinner, undo buttons, kind of full. That's the kind of full that I felt I had to be at all the time. Because that sensation, the actual feeling of fit to burst fullness, was a form of love. It felt like a hug. And I'm not saying a literal hug, I'm just saying it was a support. Why, I don't know. I've never been able to get to the bottom of that. and I'm sure I will at some stage, but that's the truth. And I know that that's there's a lot of people. There's people that have food issues right now that will associate with that. You get depressed because you're obese and you can't move properly and everything hurts. I mean, to hold my trousers up, because even below my gut, I was 60 inches. I was 11XL at my biggest. I had an 11XL grey shirt that I had to wear every day because it cost so much money and they were so hard to source. Now I could probably take my kids out camping with it, but that's the reality of it. But I used to have to put my belt so tight to have my jeans around my hips. I would rub sores into my skin. Still have the scars now. I snapped belts because I had to have them on that tight because I was petrified of my trousers falling down. That's the reality of it. I would purposely buy and hide food for after dinner because I didn't think my mum would cook meals big enough, even though my mum cooked pretty substantial meals. Cook meals big enough to satisfy and get me to that loving state of fullness. And it took a long time for me to kind of realise that that was not the way to be. But by that point, I'd been so big for so long, diabetes had taken effect, my feet had started to kind of break down, I'd started losing sensation in both my feet. Even though I was trying everything to lose weight. And at certain points in time, I lost a lot of weight, but I always put it back on. But when I finally got to the realisation I have to do something, it was too late because my feet could no longer give me the mobility and the motivation to really successfully burn off calories. So because of how bad things got, the doctor suggested that I have a bariatric surgery. So in fourth year, so 2013, I had bariatric surgery. Now the first surgery was unsuccessful. Why? Because I did the 2-week fasting that you have to do when you have bariatric surgery, which is either you have a combination of broths and jellies and whatever else, or you have straight up milk. I went for the milk. Did it a week and 6 days. Perfection. And then I read on a forum, several people on a forum, in actual fact in America, that said, hey, you don't need to fast during that. It's a myth. So the day before I had a Chinese. This is how ridiculous my relationship with food was. So I had a Chinese, they did the surgery, surprise, surprise, my liver was not playing ball because obviously it was trying to process all the fat and crap that I put in my body the day before. So then they gave me a gastric balloon, which is basically they inflate it into your stomach to fill the void, for want of a better description. Had that, it was horrible. The feeling of it, that's almost, although in a way, looking back at it, that actually cured me of this whole love of feeling full, because it was there all the time, this uncomfortable, horrendous full feeling. But then when you ate something, it was like a mirage, because the food would go down even though you felt like you were about to vomit. That cured me of that, so I suppose it's good in a way. So then a few months later I had a gastric, they were able to do a gastric sleeve. My liver was still quite hard, but that apparently was down to the antibiotics I was on to fight infections and so on and so forth. So they did the sleeve. And it worked fantastic. I mean, I've lost 21 stone in 4 years. I actually lost a fair amount of it in the first year due to having an affliction to meat and fish and couldn't go anywhere near it. So I literally became vegan, which I totally support the lifestyle. But when you have medical issues ongoing with that, it's not sustainable. And I became quite ill, actually, after many months of doing it, because I needed more nutrients that I could physically get into my body. It's not the fact that veganism doesn't work, it's the fact that when you have had surgery to restrict the size of your stomach, you have to take in so much more dense plant material to get you to that level. I simply physically could not eat enough to get there. So slowly started to reintroduce meat into my diet. It's plateaued recently simply because I'm now down to the point where the last year I've spent most of it on my sofa because I literally could not even weight bear. They wouldn't give me a wheelchair. I had crutches, but very difficult to get around on. So it's by no way means am I putting weight back on, but I'm certainly not losing it. Which played a big part in the decision of wanting me to have it removed, because it's paused everything. Everything is controlled by this. But I kind of wanted to touch, just because I'm wary of time, because I know people don't want to watch me drivel on for minutes and minutes and minutes. And me and shortness are not things that I'm very au fait with. But I wanted to touch upon anyone out there now, someone that is suffering with an eating disorder, if you are, or you find comfort in food the way I found comfort in food. You feel like you're alone. I understand that. I understand that even people closest to you may feel that disconnect from, because you always think that people are judging you because of the way you look, the way you are, so on and so forth. Nothing could be further from the truth. They are there because they love you. Do you really think they want to watch their loved one, their partner, their brother, their sister, their daughter, whoever, pretty much go on the path to killing themselves at a far younger age than they ever should be killing themselves at? I know it's easy to manipulate those around you, because even though they know that you shouldn't be doing this, they're willing to help and support you because they love you. That's the thing to take away from this. And you have no idea how strong you are. The fact that you put up, and I know this from my own personal experience. I put up with bones hanging out of my feet. I put up with the rolling around at night with tendons pulling and just an agonizing pain, and refusing to give up because you were so scared to let anyone know how you truly felt. You have any idea how much strength that takes? Physically and mentally. You have everything within you to change your lifestyle. You have everything in you to change who you are. Rewrite the history of your life. You do not want to get to this level. I do not want to have to lose a leg. I do not want to become an amputee. But I am going to become an amputee for the sake of my life and for the sake of my family's life. Because it is the only viable solution to get me to where I need to be. There's no flippancy involved in that statement whatsoever. There is no course of medical intervention that is going to make or help me get to where I need to be other than this. Do you think 5 or 6 operations is going to get me there, each with an 8 to 10 year layoff, 8 to 10 month layoff? No. But you have it in you right now to think. Just think and do your own research. Don't just take my advice and go, well, I'm going to do this. Look at how you can make even the tiniest of changes and see the results that gives you, and then build upon that. Don't try and do everything at once, because you're setting yourself up for failure. Choose one thing and say, that is the thing I'm going to change today. And then what are you going to change tomorrow? And let the people around you that love you for who you are in. Because I didn't for a long time, and it got me nowhere. Yes, you're by yourself and you alone are the one that's going to change this. But damn it, you need the help and support of the people around you that love you. If they're willing to see you at your darkest hour, imagine what they're willing to do to get you out of that darkness. Anyway, video kind of took a different turn there, but it's something I feel really passionately about, and it's kind of one of the biggest momentums of making these videos. Again, I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to put it out there. I hope you enjoy it. If you do enjoy it, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. I'm going to be releasing more vlog-style videos very, very soon, but I think these are kind of important to lay the foundation so you can see what kind of person I am. And hopefully for interactions, I can see what type of people you are. Any questions at all, feel free. Leave it in the comment section below. I'll see you next time. Until then, this is the pirate in training, I suppose.